Yeah.
Excellent. Well, we're really excited to participate in TSI Live today and introduce you to Groupize. Groupize simplifies event and meeting management with easy to use tools that manage all processes in the life cycle of an event, creating better outcomes for all stakeholders. And at times like these, containing costs, managing risk, and minimizing liability while focusing on traveler safety is a priority for every company. Our footprint in the corporate travel has been steadily expanding, and I invite you to meet the Groupize of today and understand the ROI that we deliver. We've listened to the market, and through continuous improvement, Groupize is now the entry point for all employees in a company to begin to manage events. And as a Fortune 25 company recently told me, we have built the system of a travel manager's dreams. Groupize is the OPT for meetings and events. We're the hub for all stakeholders to collaborate in a centralized solution. We're designed from the ground up as both easy to use and self-service. Groupize solves problems in every department, managing more than meetings, including extended stays, projects, engagements, recruiting, training, and more. Modern meeting management for modern companies. So let's spend the next few minutes discussing how our take on meeting management saves companies millions by digitizing their program, saving companies tens of thousands of hours of time and dollars, helping everyone do more with less. The most loved travel technology. We take this accolade seriously. Above and beyond our indisputable value proposition and easy to understand pricing that does not charge per user licenses, per attendee fees, commissions, or have any surprises, we're fun to work with. We respect our channel partners and we will exceed your service expectations with easy access to support. Our complete all-in-one solution is for the whole company, integrating travel and meetings. We have robust functionality that you will actually use, more of what you need and less of what you don't. We're easy to implement with flexible workflows for every level of service, self-service, full service, and a hybrid, basically providing the oversight that you require and the autonomy that planners crave, deployed like an OBT. You really can have it all. And just like TSI is the Netflix of travel technology, Groupize is the Zoom of event management technology. Just like companies have moved from Zoom to GoToWebinar, companies are moving to Groupize because of ease of use and pricing. We're having daily discussions with companies of all sizes that are canceling their agreements with the incumbent because our solutions are what they need now. We're the solution of today and the solution of tomorrow. And as the founder of Airbnb shared, travel changed more in 1 month than it did in 10 years. And while travel has paused and times are difficult, some companies have been invaluable to their customer during urgent times of crisis and are necessary in a new reality, and Groupize is one of those companies. The pandemic has highlighted the importance of the core tenets of our value proposition: cost containment, risk mitigation, traveler safety, and visibility to all stakeholders. We did not pivot post-COVID. We were able to stay on course with our core functionality while enhancing virtual and hybrid solutions within the tool. Simply put, these market conditions have elevated our solution from a nice to have to a must have. Every company with corporate travelers has a spotlight on them to de-risk meeting management. Now, what do we do? What does the system do? Groupize manages both your meetings program and your event logistics. Our customers have oversight and control of their largest area of decentralized spend. Our robust and flexible platform is a natural inclusion in a modern travel program. Maybe more relevant, the meeting footprints, meeting dynamics are changing, and the need for today's meetings are alternative venues for day meetings, virtual meeting capabilities that can also support in-person attendance, self-service, small and regional meetings, bringing duty of care when there is no air component, and a tool that can be deployed enterprise-wide. Technology that can be used in every department. And this slide, this really shows our core differentiator within the market. We are the tool that will drive savings in every single department. This is how we also coexist with our valued agency and third-party partners and other integration solutions like GDSs and OBTs. For our customers, we're solving many business problems, and this is where that saving millions comes into play. And although the needs of each department are often unique, due to our broad and flexible platform, we meet the requirements for all types of events. You will find use cases for us in facilities, in HR, in marketing, in procurement. So beyond the savings that we deliver on technology, if your company could save $5,000 on every hotel contract in the value of $25,000, like a Fortune 600 company did, if you could avoid $100,000 attritional penalties on 1 in 5 contracts per year, like a global company has done with us, if you were able to save 18 to 22% on airfare on all of your events by enforcing booking windows, as Ernst & Young showed, you would drive savings. And if you could transition thousands of fees from full service to self-service or save 23 human hours on every single event, even mid-sized travel programs will have 7-figure savings. And more importantly, this is the use case where we're saving one company up to $10 million in their first 2 years with us. Most of us can recognize that the process of managing projects, crews, groups, it's broken. By automating a process that relied on 23 coordinators to manage logistics for hundreds of travelers a month, allowed for proper lead time with both hotel and air on a booking window, and is saving the company millions. And the agency partner is thrilled as well, because those 23 resources can be deployed into more profitable activities. So we've simplified pricing for meeting management. Gone are the days of per attendee fees and per user licenses. Our pricing is based on the size of your travel program. One easy to use price that is easy to budget and available for every use case, unlimited within the organization. Groupize is now the solution of choice for Fortune 5000 companies. We have an opportunity to disrupt the space like no other. With our channel alliances, earned because of our best-in-breed functionality, we are the vetted solution for 80% of companies in the United States. Large meeting technology companies with 33,000 customers became the leading solution for professional meeting planners. Concur had owned the corporate booking tool market, empowering 40,000 customers, and Groupize, with a modern self-service solution with full service capabilities, can power all of those customers. So I'm going to spend our last 2 minutes together on a tour of the visibility that we offer clients and why we are priceless, and also one Groupize exclusive. I would love to speak with you one-on-one and talk about why a large clothing manufacturer has told me the risk of not managing this category is unquantifiable. And for our agency partners on this call today, I'd love to talk about our event booking page module that a large third-party meeting house has called their cash register. So with that, we're going to spend one moment and go into the Groupize solution and show the visibility that we deliver through an enterprise-wide tool. We have an entry point, which would be our portal page. It is accessible through single sign-on, through sign-up by email verification, and your entry point to showcase everything groups and meetings for any of your employees. This is very sophisticated with a robust rules engine, but I want to go back to March when things were a little bit more chaotic than they are today, and travel managers and crisis teams everywhere were struggling to find out who planned meetings, where they are, and how much money was on the line. In the Groupize solution, you would have enterprise-wide visibility to that at a calendar view as well as a map view. I want to know how many events are happening in Paris today. I can see that within the Groupize tool. But more importantly, the decisions that can be made from end-to-end visibility are priceless. So any action that's taken within the Groupize solution, an event is created. And you would be able to, as our crisis managers did, come in March and know, okay, who was the planner and who was the agent that was helping them if there was one involved, when and where the event was happening. At one click, they were able to see the budget, how much is on the line for this actual event, whose department's coming from it, and what decisions do they need to make. As our tool includes an entire sourcing module that is curated with your hotel collection, your preferred partners, and your contacts, you would know where you have a contract signed, and more importantly, have access to that contract. Groupize picks up and parses all communications that go back and forth between the hotel and your planner. You'd have every email, every attachment, the contract, etc. And after you know what your hotel obligations are, you would be able to know who's attending and what is the status of their travel program. And are they a guest or are they a profiled traveler? So you could tell at one click that someone is confirmed, they have a room, but they don't have their air yet. And of course, we can drill down into any category. But due to our two-way integration with OBTs, you would be able to see what was booked in the OBT versus a rooming list for hotel and flights and actually take action on it. You would be able to come in and cancel those rooms without trying to track down all of those attendees. Of course, there's more to our tool. There's attendee communication, there's reporting, there's business intelligence on your whole program, but the visibility is unparalleled. And with that, think I've reached my time limit and would love to turn it over to Matt and answer some questions for you.
Thank you very much, Alisa, for that presentation. We're going to move on to the Q&A session. If anyone has any questions for Alisa, just click the Q&A button at the top. You can type it in. If you put your name and your company name, I'll read that. If you want to be anonymous, you can be anonymous as well. So just click the Q&A button, put your question in, and we'll ask the question and Alisa will answer it for you. Fabulous presentation. The first time I really saw everything that you guys do there, and it is an end-to-end solution. Some of the questions I have is why, with the COVID situation that we have going on right now, why is a self-service solution sort of a must-have in today's environment?
It's a great topic, and I think we're hearing that trend across the industry, digitizing every component of a travel program. But the blind spots that were covered in a post-COVID world really reiterated the importance of duty of care and visibility. I think in the past, it was kind of the industry's dirty little secret. It's okay if we don't manage meetings, nothing's going to go wrong, but something did go wrong. And a lot of companies found themselves with serious problems, financial and or duty of care obligations. And the only way to capture all meetings in an organization, particularly multinational or global, is to have a tool that everyone can access.
Right. Yeah, and I saw that multiple departments in a corporation can access it. You mentioned HR, and so you have a lot of touch points there. Where do you talk about the savings of hundreds of thousands to millions, right? Depending on the size. Where is that like in your system, or where do you see the most savings come? Like where does that come from? Is there a specific part?
Sure, there's many components, and we actually have an ROI calculator on our website that can help any company determine what their savings would be. There are first and foremost, well, not first, it often starts on the venue selection. By automating some of the negotiations, by curating your hotel collection and ensuring things like hotel addendums go on the first try, you can save 10 to 15% on your venue selection. And then moving into air, there is enforcing a booking window. You can do that within our tool and have visibility. And when it makes sense to transition non-profiled travelers from full service into self-service, there's often a big savings there. And of course, the time savings with staff.
Yeah, okay. You mentioned kicked CVent in the ass there a little bit. I sort of like that. Whenever the underdogs take a shot. So how are you different than CVent, right? That's the.
Yeah, I mean, I think that,
Good
don't get me
company.
wrong, they're a great company, they're an incumbent. We admire them every day. However, it's the market that told us we're different. And it's the market that has said, you have more of what we need and less of what we don't. We had do some really unique things with live hotel bookings, with our OBT integrations. And as we're a smaller company, we're more agile. We were able to bring in 1,500 features based on user feedback in the last calendar year. And I don't think any incumbent's product roadmap can move that quickly.
Okay.
And I think lastly, I know there's a lot of agency partners that are part of TSI membership. And I would say that I hear from all of them every week that we are the best technology partner that they have, because we honor our relationships and don't try to bypass anything.
All right. Yeah, so we got some questions coming in here. I want to touch on one on regarding the TMC. Yeah, we have a lot of TMCs, or TSI Live members. What does that relationship look like? You mentioned you've got 30 TMCs that you work with.
Yep.
Can you just how does
Sure.
that work?
Well, each TMC determines where we fit in their strategic solution set. Most often they're referring or reselling us just like they would a Concur or an OBT, and implementing us in that way.
Okay.
The ultimate goal for the agency is often to bring more spend under management. And I have several success stories where we double or triple the amount of spend under management by bringing this tool. And also we can bridge gaps. Sometimes it's a niche that we're the HR recruiting tool within an agency, sometimes that we're the SMM. So we work very closely with our partners to determine where we add value, and if we're a cost avoidance tool or a revenue generation tool, because we can be both.
Okay. All right. We got some questions here coming in. First one is, did I understand correctly that there is an automated negotiation on offers received? And if so, how does it work?
Great. So that is correct, that we can bring in the best practices of someone that would have those negotiation techniques in our sourcing module. So first and foremost, you curate your vendor selection, your preferred properties, your negotiated rates. We have rules that can determine how many bids you must get for each department. So often if I'm an admin, I go to the hotel across the street where I do it every year. This, you can make sure that we send 3 to 5 bids at least to multiple properties. That often saves about $5,000 per event. And then we automate hotel addendum. So if you have a hotel addendum or your concessions, it goes up front, and then the hotels know what they need to do to win your business. So we can take the best practices of a professional sourcing agent and automate those to deliver better results in a self-service environment.
Okay. Yeah, another attendee asked something similar. I think you already sort of answered that, but they wanted to. The first part of the question is: are you offering? Maybe you answered this. Are you offering annual sourcing?
Oh, no. So no, we don't. If I understand that question, that's probably the annual corporate transient RFP. So we do not have that module. However, we are the system that once you get those corporate negotiated transient rates, to make them available for groups and meetings. And honestly, it's a 2+ tool. In Concur, you can do one room at a time. Often we're the 2+, and we're how the whole company can get those rates for groups, meetings, and events.
Okay. Sounds good. Anyone has any more questions for Alisa? You can just type them in the Q&A. If you leave your name and company name, I'll read that off. If you want to be anonymous, you can be anonymous as well. So why should companies be, looking for a virtual meeting platform, consider ones that include an in-person one as well? Because you have a sort of a hybrid.
Absolutely, we do. And so virtual is important. There's no disputing that. And I think it's great in some instances, and in other instances, it's not as great. However, all of a sudden, from our TMC partners and from our corporate customers, it seems like everyone has an RFP out there for a virtual solution. I've not come across an RFP yet, though, that would be able to, that includes hybrid in that, or that can grow with them. So one of the partners that we're bringing on right now, a major publishing company, their initial need was the 20 virtual meetings they're going to have in Q1. But then they were looking at, they're going to have another tool after that to do hybrid and in person. You need to have one source of truth.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Because we all know our in-person meetings are coming here soon, right?
Absolutely. And I think
And
the best way is to have a registration solution budget. I mean, I was personally shocked to learn that virtual meetings can be more expensive than in-person meetings. And I was also shocked to see that some of these virtual providers are like an actual venue. They can do one event a day.
yeah,
So the costs are not necessarily less, but you still need to manage them as if they were an in-person meeting.
yeah. And I want to talk a little bit about, duty of care that's, been like
Yep.
sort of at the top and center of,
Right.
especially with COVID. And what is that? You touched on it a little bit. And you talked about there's a gap. So like, what does that really mean for meetings, and is there a
Absolutely.
gap for attendees here?
Yeah. Well, there's always a gap for attendees that could be, for example, volunteers. We're working with a large charity, worldwide charity. And so all of their travelers are volunteers. And so there is no duty of care tool for that. For higher ed, students, guests, HCP workers. So in our tool, you know who is attending, you know where they're going. And of course, we can do contract tracing. But we take it a step further with because of our integrations with the OBT and exports, we can integrate with a duty of care system for a company for their own profiled and internal travelers. But in the new world, I'm seeing a lot of day meetings. So we work with companies that have eliminated office space all around the world, and they're going to require all of their employees to drive or take a train to a venue for a day. And there's no system that they have that would pick up that travel. They need a system to pick up that travel.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're starting to see that in some of the companies that in our network are following that are, even working with hotels. You see it in the hotel. Some hotels are starting to release space just by day, just for
Exactly.
office workers, individual and together. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're
And we're
definitely gonna do
seeing,
that.
and of course, recruiting and train, you can't interview someone at your home. So there are experts that say there will be more day meetings and more small meetings in the future. And I wholeheartedly believe that.
We have another question here from TSI Live member. Which video extension has been integrated to your platform to manage video consultation?
Great. So we are agnostic today, and we allow our partners, our companies, and our agencies plug and play the video that they want to stream with us. However, we have had requests from some customers to have a Zoom integration in our tool, and we're looking into that. But today, we're agnostic, so we support any live streaming tool. And that's another thing that I was also shocked with is companies after their RFP, they're going back to their security and they're saying, I just found these top 5 virtual providers and they're not passing security audits. So our agency partners have said, stay agnostic and let the customers use those that are approved in their company.
Okay. Okay. Does anyone have any more questions for Alisa? You can go ahead and type them in the Q&A. I've just got, I think, one more. We're getting within our 30 minutes here. What, just finish up talking about meeting trends. Like, what are you seeing? What's here to stay? What is it going to look like going forward?
I wish I had a crystal ball. It was very interesting. I'm on a committee, and yesterday we were talking about, we think that after the sales numbers for this year and many companies come out, we'll know how quickly we get back to in-person travel and in-person, particularly if they're down. But I believe that the trends that are here to stay is hybrid meetings, and not necessarily hybrid of in-person and not in person, but that large annual convention that was happening in Las Vegas is now going to have 6 different locations. They're going to have regional, and then the hybrid virtual part will be streaming everyone into the same keynote speaker. So hybrid, I think that, smaller meetings and mandating. I mean, I'll just leave with that. Mandating is sexy again. Everybody can do it and everybody wants to do it. And that is going to help every travel manager that I can think of.
Yeah. Okay. That's for sure. I think I like the idea of like the regional. I can see that definitely going to happen. Now's the time. If you guys anyone there wants to book a private one-on-one meeting with Alisa, if you have a calendar link, Alisa, or some type of meeting booking, you can place it in the chat button.
I sure do.
If you want to place that
Just
in
1
there.
second. Yep. I'm really excited to have this conversation with you today, Matt. I think it's long overdue. We anticipated as much as we should, and
Yeah.
I'm really great to get to that. And also, just as I'm going to put that link in this chat as a moment. And I think everybody knows us for our Concur integration, but we are also bringing in additional OBTs very shortly. So you can message me or book time with me to talk about that. So
If anyone can connect with Alisa too via email, her email is alisa@groupize.com.
and here comes the link.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Yeah. So there's a link in the chat button. Just click your chat button and you can grab that link and you can connect with Alisa over the next few days. Or if you want to email her directly, you can email her at alisa@groupize.com.
Right.
Anyone has any more questions now or never? Okay.
Okay.
Moving on, we have watch past presentations. Alisa's presentation will be up here in a few hours. For all you TSI Live attendees, just access the replay button at the top. You can actually scroll through. You can actually filter by category. You can look at different technology you're interested in. Then just click the watch replay button and you can watch the actual